Hey guys, what's going on? It's Simon and James, and it's that time of the weekend where you guys can ask us your questions now. Last week we found an awesome number of thumbed up comments. Thanks for doing that. If you have a question for next week, make sure to put your questions in the comments. And obviously, if you see a question you want to see answered, make sure you thumb it up because it means we can see it really easily and get those questions answered for you. So, James, what is the first question we've got this week?
So the first question is one that's a very new question, obviously. It's about a very recent topic, which is to do with our 24-hour Slay Day live stream for charity. And he asked, with that in mind, what is the longest amount of time you've actually spent playing RuneScape in one sitting? And if it is a long time, what were you doing / no-lifing at the time?
Well, I guess the no lifing is a good point, isn't it? Like, obviously, if you're playing for a long time, you're usually not doing a variety of things. At least usually no lifing. I know for me, I know mine is doing the Corporeal Beast. I went through a phase. I'm trying to think when it was. I'm fairly sure it was around it was between sort of late February.
Whoops.
Nice work. It was between late February and early May of 2010. So like, I don't know. I was supposed to be doing work at uni. That did not
How
happen.
how did that go down for you, Simon?
Yeah, that did not go down so well. So I was supposed to be doing work, but I wasn't. What I was doing was no life in corp, like completely no life in corp. So that it was more like a sustained period of no life. But in one day, just because I had some really great friends on, we were doing corp together. I actually did 30 straight hours of corp. I had 5 auto logs. So like you get the 6-hour auto log, which logs you out. I had them 5 times. And after the 5th one, I logged back in. And we had like 5 minutes left on the trip, and I was like, look, that's 5 auto logs. I really do have to go to bed. And yeah, that's the longest time I've spent playing Escape. So I've done a 24-hour stint before. Over
That's
that,
funny considering the top rated comment on the live stream video is, I bet £10 Simon won't make 24 hours.
probably now, yeah, I don't know, to be fair. Probably not. Like back then, obviously, I was just like, I was chatting with loads of people. We were doing corp, which is a lot more sort of exhilarating often because you're getting owned constantly by the corp. This was back in the day where you're using your Carols and Zami Spears, so very different. But I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I don't regret doing it. It was a lot of fun. I slept for like 20 hours afterwards, so that was I did not feel so good after waking up from that. But I don't know. I don't know about you. What's your longest stint then, James?
I'm pretty certain this was I'm gonna say about 6 years ago, maybe even seven. No, but even later than that, 7 years ago, and it was when Desert Treasure came out, and I wanted level 94 mage to join a clan, and it was actually the same. I can't remember the clan nowadays, but it was the same clan that Cursed You was in, and
Right.
it was back then, and I decided that I needed to ALK. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to ALK to 94 mage,
Oh
and
my God.
I did like a stint of like 8 hours of straight alching. I don't know how I managed it, but I was so
Wow.
motivated for 94 Mage that I'm pretty certain that's like my biggest no life moment.
I was gonna say that is definitely more of a no life. Like I reckon you probably played for longer, just doing various
I don't
stuff.
think I've
But
played like it straight though. Like that was
yeah,
like
there'll be like a
straight.
short break.
I don't think I've ever.
Wow, 8 hours straight of alking. Holy,
Yeah, I
I don't
don't. I
even
don't
I
think
don't
I've
even
ever.
think the bots can manage that, dude. Like holy man, they need to start reading your brain to make a new bot script for that one. That is impressive shit. I could not do alking, especially the actual XP must have been terrible as well. Anyway, interesting question, I guess, and highly relevant to the fact we're doing the 24-hour live stream, which will be starting tomorrow. It's going to be crazy stuff, so definitely should tune in for that one. But next question. It's quite an interesting one, actually. It says it's also a sort of a very recent topic. So with the switch over from Java to HTML5 coming, so if you're completely like off topic here, you don't know what we're on about, there was a post by MMG, the CEO, and he basically said that in the next few months, or at least they're going to be working on it in the next few months, we'll be seeing a changeover from Java to HTML5, which is basically, for any tech wizards, it's a coding language, but it basically just means the way that the game runs, it's a Java game at the minute, it's going to be running on a different system, which basically means that it's going to be more advanced and they're going to be able to do more things with the game. So going forward, the game could be more technical, it could be more advanced, there's going to be better graphics, a lot of it's going to improve, hopefully it'll be less laggy, they might have easier ways to detect things like bots and whatever. So hopefully it's only going to be good for the game. And so the question that he actually asked with that was like, do you think the max cash stack and max experience will increase? Because at the minute it's based on a 32-bit system rather than a 64-bit system. Again, lots of technical words, but everyone knows the max cash stack is, what is it, 2.147
I
bill?
don't know. I've never had one.
Never had one. It's 2.147 bill. There are actually obviously numbers after that. And that's just limited by the game engine itself. If it went from 32 to 64-bit, that would actually increase the max cash stack, and it would make it so high that I don't think anyone could ever reach it. It would be ridiculously high. So I don't know. I don't know whether HTML5 is based off a 64-bit system. I haven't actually read up on it too much. If that is the case, and that's why you're asking the question, then I would imagine maybe we could see a change, but they might still keep the same old caps just because, obviously, if they kept the same caps, it's like it keeps the game consistent. But then they did say that they were only ever going to change the max cash stack if there were items in the game that couldn't be purchased with that amount of cash. And it's been seen. Blue party hats, the Christmas crackers, they can't be purchased because there just isn't enough cash in one set. You have to go through a trade. You have to use spirit shards. So who knows? Maybe we could. It looked pretty crazy.
I don't think they will. They'll probably just keep it as they always have had it. If they can cap it like that, then they probably will. What's weird as well is they don't cap XP because XP doesn't reach the limit, because obviously there's the 0.0 with XP, because you can gain like less than 1 XP and get like half an XP. It actually goes just past 200 mil, but they round that down to 200 mil just so it looks nice for the high scores apparently.
Yeah, so with the high scores, they put the cap on the high scores of 200 million experience. That won't change just because they even say they don't want to encourage people to get 200 millions. Not because it's not a great achievement, it's just because obviously it's not really healthy for them to say, yeah, we want you to get 200 mil, just because it would be like, I don't know, if you gave them a prize or something or an in-game item, it would encourage people to not necessarily waste hours, but spend ridiculous time doing this thing just for the sake of one item, which I don't know, isn't the way they want to do it. They want to put in good new content that they want to put time into. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. I don't think we're going to see a change to the maximum sort of limits on the game, just because they'll probably keep it consistent, and because it might take a little bit of code and stuff, which they probably don't want to do. Anyway, the next question, James, what is it?
Yeah, I think this is a really, really good question. It's more of a statement, really. They need to link range and mage to attack, so that the combat triangle isn't range versus mage versus attack/strength. It needs to be range versus mage versus strength, and then attack will determine your accuracy in each of them. That's how RuneScape should have been created all of these years, and that's what needs to happen for it to be properly balanced. And when we were discussing last week, this actually relates quite well to last week's, about how we were talking about the combat calculation and how it includes attack and strength. And that's a really good way, I think, to do a good combat calculation so that everyone would be of it. Do you know what you were saying, Simon? How they're doing the new combat calculation to kind of equal people's strengths. So if you're 99 range and 99 strength, you kind of seen as an equal kind of amount of power in terms of damage output, but attack just didn't really work into it very well. Now this, I think, with the accuracy linking to all of them, is actually a very good idea, and I think it's something that
it is actually a really great idea, because the fact that I was saying that the reason why it's so different is the fact that melee has these two skills, attack and strength. Ranged only has one. It doesn't have like a ranged accuracy, ranged strength. Mage doesn't have a mage accuracy, mage strength. If you just change the attack skill to accuracy, and it worked in all three, obviously you'd have to make the XP be maybe a little bit lower, or you have to choose to train it, sort of like hit points. Obviously you can't choose to train hit points, it's a passive thing, it sort of just accumulates. But it could be interesting to see if they could do that. I definitely think that's a really good suggestion, actually, because if it was linked to all three, as you said, it'd make not only the combat calculation a lot easier, but again, it would just make sort of the knowledge of the skills. Like if they want to simplify everything and make like the whole combat thing simple, then let's say like a new player starting the game, if he just sees like strength, or just even if they change strength to melee, so just see like melee ranged mage, they're like, cool, that's good. Accuracy, obviously, it just affects your accuracy, and then defense is pretty sort of explanatory as well. So I don't know, it could be very simple. Obviously, it's very hard to
personally like the idea. I mean, obviously, it takes some coding and some work and some balancing, but I like the idea.
Yeah, obviously there are people with 99 attack already, and people might complain that, like, say, like a range-based character could then level their what would be attack to get an extra 99, things like that. I don't know how it's going to work, like, or how it would work. Obviously, it's definitely not coming in the game, but it's a very good suggestion. I don't know how they could do it if they were to do that kind of thing. I know. I really like that idea. I think that's really original. I haven't really seen that one before. So yeah, definitely a very sensible option. Let's just I don't know. Let's hope maybe Jag gets a listen and they have a think, because I think that's a really good suggestion. And I love it when I see suggestions like that. They're really, really cool to see. Anyway,
on to the final question.
Yep.
This question is about our channel primarily, and then a bit about us. So he says, first, or I say he or she, I don't know.
Yep.
They said, first, What do you see as the future of your channels? Seeing as you both will be getting on with your lives after college/university, will you keep up with your channels? Also, secondly, how did you, James, and Simon become friends? It's a question I've always wanted to know. So we became friends because we were in the same class together at secondary school, which is, I'm guessing, like high school.
Yeah, well, it's like sort of the second half of middle school and high school combined almost. But yeah, so it's basically the sort of from about what the age of 11-ish.
Yeah, around 11, we were
Yeah,
in the same class,
we're
and
in
then
the
we
same
were
class.
all the way through, well, pretty much through the whole of school, not all, every year, but and we've always just been friends. And
Exactly. And the fact that we live like 100 yards apart doesn't exactly make it it makes it quite hard not to kind of see each other. So yeah, that was basically how we met. But then in terms of the future of the channels, obviously, yeah, so James has finished his university now. What, you've got a year out at the minute, haven't you?
yeah, I graduated and I have a year off, so I had a job offer for a company in London. I deferred it a year, so I've got like a full year off. In that year, my intention was to travel like I did. I went to California and such, and I'm going to see Bourne in Florida, and I have a few other things planned as well, which is absolutely awesome. But as for like the channel after that, I'll continue obviously through the year. I'll continue the channel as long as it's enjoyable. Obviously, if I start a full-time job, etc., then I'm gonna have a lot less time. But as long as the channel, I still enjoy doing what I do, then I'll carry on doing it in the time that I do have. That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
just how it will go.
yeah, definitely.
It's up to whether I enjoy it or not. And at the minute, I absolutely love doing it. I love producing entertaining content, or at least what I hope is entertaining content for you guys, and so I'll continue to do it in my spare time.
And definitely, it's the same thing for me. Obviously, I'm in a bit of a different situation. I've still got 2 years of like university left, assuming I don't mess up. So, like, obviously, I will be busy with work at times, and that thing kind of thing's unavoidable. But again, at university, it's not quite the same as say if you're at high school or doing whatever. It's not like 9 to 5 every day. You do have time, and you got to fill that time. Like a lot of people sort of go off and do various things. I do sport. I go to the gym, things like that. But yeah, I do have time, and obviously this has always been my hobby, so I'll continue doing this. It's something I enjoy, and we'll hopefully do it for a long time to come, because at the minute I'm just loving it, so definitely got to continue. Anyway, guys, I think we'll wrap it up there, but as I said at the start, if you have any questions you want us to answer, whether it's about RS, it can be about absolutely anything, even if it's about current news, who knows, definitely just submit them in the comment section below, and thumbs up any that you do see that are interesting, and then we'll answer them next time around. See you then, guys.